Alrighty, Court, y'all ready? Let's roll with it. Alrighty, today's January 20th, 2026, and this is our 5 o'clock work session. I would like you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. I believe Pastor Eric Lemon is with us. Come on up to the podium, please. How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Just want to open us up in prayer, so if we don't mind to bow our heads in prayer. Father, we thank you for this fiscal court meeting today. We thank you for all the people that have given themselves to this public service and for all the concerned citizens. We ask your blessing on this meeting. You said if we acknowledge you in all of our ways, you would direct our path. So we ask for your direction for them during this meeting. We pray that as they make decisions that impact Franklin County, the city of Frankfort, and all of its residents, that they do so with your wisdom and your strength and for the best interest of all. I pray that they will operate with honesty, integrity, and in their decision making. And we give you thanks for all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hey, God's Court, I want you also to know that Eric Lemon and his wife, Tuesday, have been precinct workers for us for over 10 years now.
Oh.
They help us every year with the election.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much, Pastor. Alrighty, now we're going to open up for public comments. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to come up and speak? Please state your name and know that you have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you. I am Kay Thomas.
They told me on purpose to tell you that. They said
They
you're
told
a
me
little
on purpose?
long-winded, you know?
Okay. I am Kay Thomas. I'm the jail program director for the Shepherd's House. My responsibility is working in jails, specifically the SAP and SOAR programs. So, little history lesson. Shepherd's House is the first to make up a jail program. It started in Bull County. As it progressed, DOC got the liking of us, and we get contracted out by DOC for jails in your area. So we touched down in Frankfort, I think October of last year, and you know, that jail welcomed us in with open arms. And I want to paint a picture for you guys on these people that we're working with and what their jail stay looks like. It is not sitting around eating honey buns watching Jerry Springer. It is a full 8-hour work day, just like you're doing out here in the real world, but inside jail. Now, I will say, Frankfort is special because we are not doing jail normally. Like, we really are doing jail differently. All right, and I'll give y'all a cool story behind this. Has anyone in this room seen Dope Sick, the medication? Okay, so you're familiar with Stephen Lloyd. Stephen Lloyd came to visit Frankfort, and he was in shock. He said, this is the closest thing to New Zealand I've ever seen in my life. He's like, I cannot believe the amount of square footage they have to walk around, the treatment that's going on, the types of classes they're doing, and he wants to copy Frankfort and like copy and paste it and take it to West Virginia. Now, I can tell you guys about classes all day, and I can give you guys the data behind us that shows like per dollar you spend on an inmate, you get $1.42 back. But I know you guys would like to see some results. So we brought with you today an old client of ours that is still in our care. Because, you know, usually I talk in front of these people and I get teary-eyed because I have all of them in front of me. If you guys ever see that the families in jail, I encourage you to come out and see graduation. That'll break your heart. It's beautiful, though, in a good way. So this lady right here has become part of our family. What we say is a Shepherd's House, once we get our hands on you, we don't let go of you, right? The lady that's with her has been with us for 6 years now, and she is a jail graduate. So I give you guys Christine Stidham.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Good. My name's Christine Stidham. Okay, I guess I just give you the rundown of what it's like, right? I'm sorry.
Talk about whatever you want to. Don't be nervous. If you need to take a break, take a break. I'll give you extra time. I didn't want him to have extra time.
Okay. Thanks. I did that. You were at my graduation.
I was.
Both of them. So I started the program October. They opened the SAP program. When I got there, I was broken. I was in a terrible relationship. I was an addict. I have 6 children. I've been an addict for a lot of years, and I put my kids through hell. This program helped me find me and helped me build my self-worth and who I was, and actually Annie was one of them. Coming in and hearing her story, I wanted that. I wanted what she had. I wanted to be able to help other people, and the counselors at the Shepherd's House helped build me back up, and the program too, and the jailer. The jail, honestly, when I left, I cried to go back. I know that sounds crazy, but they helped me, and I was so secure there. Like, they were loving. They actually cared, and I know that's crazy to say for a jail, but they really cared. Since then, from there, I graduated SAP. I became a peer mentor, and I mentored the girls, which I love all the girls. I want to see people succeed in this. I don't want to see people die. I want them to succeed. And since I've got a lot of girls that call us that still get out of the program and come to the Shepherd's House, they call me and I go pick them up, but right now I'm at the Shepherd's House. I'm a house manager. I'm doing whatever is needed of me I've got my peer support. I'm going up in my peer support. I'm getting my CEU, which is higher. I don't know how to explain that. Yes. Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's okay. You're doing great.
And I want to be kind of like Cade and them one day. They're like a family to me. I don't know, like they said, once they get your hands on you, they never let go. And they don't. I love the way that they just still care. And when I left the jail, she told me to come back and that she would do anything for me. And she came outside, hugged my family. It was awesome. They actually care. And to be able to come back in here and do this is a lot to me, because usually I'm on the other side. So to come in here and talk and have people actually listen means a lot to me. I just wanted to say thank you, and I just want to keep doing better, and I know that this program can help. It does help, and I guess that's all.
Well, I want to say that I'm proud of you for having the courage to come up here and do this, because I know it's not easy. And I want to thank the Fiscal Court and the jailer for creating the special place that we have. So thank you very much, and we wish you all the wellness in the world.
Thank you.
Any other public comments while we're on public comments?
I'm Drew Thompson, live out in Swallowfield. The agenda item 5, I just happened to see the article in the State Journal Thursday, and then see it's on the agenda today. So I know you guys will be going over all this, so just probably a little on the front end, but just be interested to know how long that's been in the process. By what's in the paper and everything, if everything goes how the paper says they think it'll go, then I think it'll be a pretty good deal. I do question some things. I have a hard time wrapping my head around the parking revenue in particular. You're talking about like a 35 multiplier on the parking revenue. I don't see how that works. The only other thing I'd caution is Franklin County did a deal similar to this years ago. Now, the terms might have been different, but they ended up on the hook for some of it. Farmers Bank was involved in that, and like I said, that's been a long time ago, but the contract language obviously is extremely important. So that's all I've got. If it's all on the up and up and it's a win-win, great. It's just a little concerning that you see it one day and then 3 or 4 days later we got to pass it or not. That's my concern.
We have the gentleman here that will be able to answer all those questions. Thank you, Drew. All righty. Any other public comments?
I'll be quick. My name's Annie. I work for Shepherd's House Treatment Center now. I am an alcoholic. I am an addict. I have obtained long-term sobriety. So I do admissions coordinating for all of our programs, all men and women. We have the 2 women's houses, like the one that Christine's at right now, where she's a house manager. I am a SAP graduate from Grant County Detention Center, which is also Shepherd's House. And just like a little short backstory, I grew up in an alcoholic home. My mom was addicted. I lost her to an overdose in 2017. And my sister is currently incarcerated in Ross Cache. I remember sitting in jail and being in such fear of like how long I would sit on a waiting list as a female, because I think at the time was only 2 or 3 SAP programs in the state for women. I got lucky enough to go to Grant County. I completed the program, I mentored, and 2 days ago made 3 years from my release. It's the longest I've been out in over 10 years. This is the longest amount of sobriety I have, coming up on 6. And I basically did everything that was suggested of me. So Sean was my counselor while I was incarcerated. Sean is now my boss. He's the director of operations. Still take all of his suggestions. And because of that, I have also my peer support, but I'm also in my 5th semester of college, which was never a goal for me. Not ever something I ever imagined to do. This last semester was the first one I didn't make, like, the dean's list. That was stressful, actually. But, so, a full-time college student, and I supervise both of the women's houses. The goal is to provide people like me and Christine, hopefully, upon re-entry, is, targeted case management, peer support, therapy, continued substance use programming, and all those things. So, Shepherd's House set me up for that upon my release, and continue to every day. So, that's it.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for getting up and speaking. Congratulations on your sobriety, and especially congratulations on going to college. That's a great thing. So you should be very proud. So keep it up, one day at a time.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, any other public comments? Alrighty, seeing none, we're going to invite the one and only Kelly Anderson up with Thornhill. Hello there.
Hello, welcome to Canada.
Feels like it outside.
Well, I wore my Canadian garb today.
We won't hold that against you. It's okay.
That's all right.
Yep.
I actually wrote notes, so I'm gonna. It'll be brief, but I want to tell you.
Did I say that out loud?
That's almost funny. I want to tell you good news. I want to tell you what your money, and I say, well, Franklin County's money, has done for Thornhill in the last, since July 1st. So, as you all know, we are the only place that offers Narcotics Anonymous. We have them on Tuesday and Thursday. We offer childcare, we offer transportation for people to get there. Since Narcotics Anonymous, and this is this year, January 2025 to December 31st, 2025, our childcare has been used by 538 kids. Of those 538 kids, nothing makes me happier than saying 63% of those kids were in the Narcotics Anonymous groups. So 341 kids were able, and 341 parents, potentially even more, were able to go to these support groups. Again, the only ones in Franklin County. 142 kids were serviced with GED, family literacy, and just general study. So say, for example, if you had a child, you wanted to come in and just study because you're in college, we allow that to happen as well. The other thing, transportation, we did I only had numbers since March of 2025. We have given over 559 people rides in that van. I need to spruce it up. I want it to look like the Scooby-Doo van, so people know it's coming. We tend to give the most transportation to Fresh Start. We have on occasion needed some help from the jail, and Tracy has allowed us to come and pick up a crew to help us out. So that is another fantastic thing that money is going to, and it's directly impacting the people of this county. Peer support specialist, we have had classes in the jail, and that is one of our graduates. There were 9 graduates in peer support. We have since ran 2 more classes at Thornhill, all free of charge, which is typically about $300, and we've had over 20 graduates at Thornhill alone. Now for the exciting part. We currently, right now, in the jail, we have had 18 individuals graduate with their GED that are incarcerated. Again, it's an ebb and flow. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's not. We kind of have a goal of about 30% of the population usually needs a GED. So we have had tremendous service. I believe our instructor, and I used to go in quite a bit, but our instructor goes in, I would say 4 out of the 5 days, correct? Yes. And that's during the day, that's at night, and the jail has provided us with everything that we need to be successful there. And the good news about jail GEDs, if that inmate is a state inmate, the DOC sends the jail $1,000 per GED, which is incredible. I don't have the breakdown of state versus county, but traditionally speaking, it's about 90% of that number is our state inmates. They also do get funding. We also can send in, the DOC will also pay for just classroom time. So someone shows up to class. Our teacher hasn't been quite as effective in getting the attendance in as he needs to be. So we're working on that. The other very exciting thing that we are bringing to Franklin County is, and I talked to Mr. Comley, and we talked with, I got to remember her name, Andrea Boyd from DCBS in Franklin County, and we got permission to run parenting classes that will count towards individuals that have cases maybe pending against them. And we are lucky enough to have Ms. Chris Smith, who's sitting here to my right, who worked in the cabinet for 9 years early in her career and is currently a mental health professional at, I always mess this up, I just say DCI, the dialysis clinic. It's over by, what's it over by? That one side of town, the west side somewhere, towards Lawrenceburg. She is certified to teach that 12-week class, and she is going to be starting the first parenting class with childcare, if needed, on Tuesdays starting February 17th. Once we get that one group through, then we will continue to have these classes on a rolling enrollment process. So I just wanted to say that the utilization of funds that the Fiscal Court gave us in July have been well spent. We have numbers to prove them, and I always say this on all of my Facebook posts, we're top of the hill for a reason, and we're really making a big difference in this community, and I wanted to thank the Fiscal Court specifically. Thank you.
Kelly, thank you very much, and I want to thank all your staff, because I know it takes a team, and you all are doing some big things. I only have one question for you. So you're starting the parenting classes in Franklin County.
Yes.
Where would somebody have to go before these classes started? Like Lexington?
Yes, Lexington.
So Lexington was the closest place that somebody could go. I'm just wanting everybody to realize that, and that's what I assumed. That's a big deal.
It is Lexington, and there is a charge for it, so for Franklin County to do it for free in the beginning is pretty phenomenal, and provide childcare.
Yeah.
It's unheard of,
Perfect.
so it's
Good
a really, for the capital to have it, it's top notch.
Yep. Well, thank you all very much. Thanks for coming in and letting us know all these good things.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
And that's actually been several years since we've had parenting classes available in Franklin County, and Lexington and Louisville were the closest.
Perfect.
So this is going to be great for a lot of people in this community.
Good deal. Thank you, Max. Alrighty, next I believe we have our Mike Dees here with the road department. You got a packed house tonight there, Mr. Dees? Most of them told me they come to hear you.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
What do you got for us?
This week, or past couple weeks, it's been pretty much tree limbs and a lot of tree removal for us. And then we had one snow event Friday night that we got took care of.
How's all the equipment doing?
It's holding up pretty good. It's keeping
Yeah.
Travis busy, but
Yeah. What about, how much salt are y'all sitting on right now? Because I know that's always a big thing. I mean, we're only probably halfway through winter.
I would say right now we're around 2,000 tons.
Okay, so we got
Yeah,
a bunch.
we got it filled back up.
Okay, well, good. Alrighty, what questions does the court have for Mr. Mike Dees and the road department? I know they stay plenty busy out there. We have any questions for him?
I just want to,
Your microphone, please. I know what
we
you're
had
gonna
a
say.
meeting today and some things were brought up and we left the meeting and went home, and before we into business today, it was taken care of. So I really appreciate you getting that done as fast as you did. That means a lot to me.
Yes,
People
sir.
in the 4th District will really appreciate it when they drive by and see the no semi signs on
Hopefully it
Manly's
helps.
town.
Alrighty, good deal. Mike, thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. Alrighty, I believe Jailer Hopper here? Yeah, everybody knows how to hide behind the desk. I can't see. So you're going to give your quarterly update. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Court.
Good.
Good evening, Judge. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thank you for being here tonight.
All right, this one is going to be the shortest one I've ever stood up here and done. Andrew, I think the first one is the population report. Yes, as of today, our population is 339, a little higher than I like seeing it. Our Anderson, Sapp and Soar state, federal inmates, and our Franklin County inmates, 339 make up the population at the Franklin County Jail today. Next is our revenue report by the county's treasurer quarterly report, $805,000 in revenue. After all, the first quarter revenues were billed in December because things run behind. We bill it for December, but we don't receive these payments until January. Our first quarter revenues stand at just over $1 million. And that's the second quarter in a row.
Yeah.
That's the second quarter in a row. Our staffing, we're close to being fully staffed. We have a couple of full-time vacancies still left to fill. Our maintenance is, we're 39 years old out there, so we're watching doors. We say a lot of prayers that it doesn't rain and we don't get a heavy snowfall on that roof. The ongoing, we still have ongoing challenges from a past project. The camera project is underway. They've come out. They'll start pulling the wire, but they've come out and done all of their preliminary on before they start this next maintenance. The camera, which we're so excited about having. The cameras will be web-based, not like what we have right now. And you got, how'd that get there?
What about that? Is that a new grandbaby?
How did that get there? That's my new grandbaby. Yeah. That's my new grandbaby. That's Greg Fry's little girl. So, that's all I got for you guys. And Andrew, feel free to leave that up there until I finish talking to me.
Jailer, thank you very much. I do have a question. What is the timeline on the camera project from start to finish once they get going? A couple weeks or longer?
Probably about 3, closer. It's a big
Yeah,
project because
yeah.
they said they were going to pull all the old cable out.
Right.
If you've ever stuck your head up there,
Yeah.
you would say, whew,
Okay.
yeah. So, and they'll do that slowly because we don't want to be shut down
Right.
any amount of time with the current cameras that we have now.
Right, okay. What questions do we have for the jailer? Squire Harrod,
I just
get your
wanna say-
microphone, don't forget your microphone. You gonna get me in trouble?
I just want to say, you gave us your jail staff numbers, and you got 64 in the SAP and SOAR program. I look at that as a positive. I don't look at
Yes.
that as on the negative side of the coin, so
Keep thinking that.
that's a good
because
thing.
We're soon going to, over this next few months, in all of our budget meetings, and we're going to be talking about adding 40 male beds, and this will be something that, and we worked on this, and we have a plan to present to you guys for this, and this will, where we have, our numbers are down on our state inmates right now, but state inmates are choosing SAP over coming to the jails and working. So, we have a plan, and today's not the day that we're going to talk about that plan, but, and I have in passing, it wasn't a joke, Judge, when I said it, we would like to have another dorm out there that we can house 40.
I just
We
want to
just
say
don't have the real
that's a
estate for
positive
it.
number to me. You
Yes,
got
sir.
64 in SAP and SOAR getting ready to come out of that. That's a positive number going for good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. Jailer, thank you so much for being with us. I also wanted to spotlight the federal inmate number, because for many years, we did not have federal inmates. So seeing a number of 22 gives my heart a jolt, and I know puts a jolt in our pocketbook, so that's a great thing. Thank you so much for pursuing that and being able to get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Squire, it's a great call. It's been a long time since we've seen that.
Yes, it is.
I just want to say thank you very much for working well with the nonprofits too, Thornhill, Wanda Joyce, all those. It's a truly team effort to
It is.
to do everything that you all are doing, Thornhill's doing, and all these people trying to figure out how to make our community better, how to get people re-entered into the community to be productive citizens and give back. And so we appreciate all the partners, Sunshine House and everybody. Squire Tanner.
Some of your comments spurred my imagination a little bit. You mentioned something about the roof and a heavy snow and a lot of rain. So we have, if it were to be that kind of catastrophe, do we have an evacuation plan? I know we talked about it once or twice.
The roof's not going to collapse, it's going to leak. It's not going to collapse though, but it's going to leak. And, these are things that we've been working with, trying to chase down, well, the weatherman, but trying to chase down any types of warranties we may still have on this roof. And hopefully, if we have a major leak, that we're still, we're not under any type of warranty, but
Squire, we have our county attorney working on that too.
Yes.
So I'm just going to leave it at that right now. Okay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Thank
Leave
you.
it at that, yep, you're welcome. Any other questions, concerns, comments for the jailer? Oh, I'm sorry, Squire Dykus.
I just want to say thank you so much for what you guys are doing. I think it's awesome that you all are here. Thank you for coming to speak. And I've gotten to see some graduation, and it made me cry. That's shocking to everybody I know. But they do a fantastic job. Thank you all very much.
Jailer, thank you, and thank you to your whole team. So thank you all
Thanks,
for
you
being here.
guys.
Absolutely. Alrighty, next we're going to go to the judge's report. On the 8th, had a meeting at the meeting house with a handful of people. Squire Tanner was there towards the end. Just good conversations. A lot of questions about what was going on in Franklin County. So was there for almost probably an hour and a half. So a lot of interested people. So I was glad to be able to. We've been trying to get together for months now. So we finally were able to make that happen. The next is on the 9th. I can't say enough good things, and I know Commissioner Katima Smith-Willis is with us. Stories from the balcony at the Grand Theater. Let me tell you, I've never seen so many people in that place. Every seat was full, and they were packed too wide up and down the aisles, out the door. So I think that's very commendable. That was an amazing night. I'm glad we could be there to experience it. It's kind of puts things in reality. So well done, everyone that was involved in that. On the 16th, we were invited over to the Dominion Senior Living in Frankfurt. So they told us that after the holidays, the seniors get a little depressed because, you know, there's kind of, they get up and Christmas and everything's here, then there's nothing going on. So they came up with the idea to decorate the doors. Some were decorated by students, some were decorated by family members. Deputy Judge Jack Kennedy and Executive Assistant Jenny Durham, myself went over. That's actually the one we're standing right next to there that we gave it. We don't have a close-up of it, but it was super sweet. The lady had come up with a recipe about fairness and kindness, and it was like a quarter cup of this and a half a handshake, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So we had a really good time. They wanted just to do first place, but there was too many good things, so we went to Walmart and purchased a couple more gift cards, and so we did first, second, third. So we just couldn't give it to one person. So very, very appreciative that they include us in those activities. On the 18th, if you weren't able to be there, it was an amazing Martin Luther King Day celebration. I can't say enough good things about everybody that put it on. Reverend Whitlock is a big one behind it, but all the pastors and priests and everybody in our community joins together. They rotated a little bit, but Sheriff Depp and I went this year. It was very crowded for a Sunday night. It was very crowded. I told Reverend Whitlock it was 2 hours, 10 minutes. I said, that's church for like a month for me. I mean, that was a long run, but it was great. A lot of good people, and very, very appreciative that we were all there. Upcoming events on the 27th, I know the court has been invited. If anybody watching wants to come, the chamber puts on a State of the Community address. It's a great thing that's been started years ago. Actually, the chamber won a big award last year for this event. There's over 300 people. I think it's at the History Center this year. The mayor, myself, Dr. Capo with Kentucky State University, and then Mark Kopp with our school system, and Sherry Sadley with the independent school systems. We all sit there and talk about things that we're doing in the community, how we're all working together, trying to make our town better. So if you don't have your tickets yet, please get them. They're very on time. I think it's only like an hour and a half event. It's pretty quick, so it's very respectful of everybody's time. On the 27th, will be the ribbon cutting of New Era, Kentucky. Frankfurt is getting a cannabis shop in the old Wings and Rings building out there near Walmart. So it's kind of that building that sits up on the hill that has never made it as anything. But I'm pretty confident knowing Frankfurt that this place is going to make it. So just throwing it out there. Throwing it out there. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm pretty confident it's going to do okay. And then on February 7th is the chocolate stroll in downtown that I'm sure Susie Hofsley and DFI are doing. So we're appreciative of Susie and everything she does to try to bring more tourism in downtown or just in Frankfurt in general. So that's my judge's report. So let's go ahead and jump on to number 2, authorization for approval of minutes for a regular meeting of January 7th, 2026. Thoughts, concerns, comments on that? Y'all have a good night. Thank you for being here. Take care. We can talk about them now they're leaving. All righty, next, authorization. Go ahead, Squire Blackburn.
I think in agenda item 14, and they're not labeled in the minutes. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom. You've got Squire Wisman in opposition. I don't have that. He voted no on that.
Okay, clerk, can you make note of that? We'll go back and check the,
I think they're correct.
What's that?
There's 2 that voted in favor.
You voted in favor?
Of 2 of those. I think they're correct.
You voted aye. What does that mean? Is that it? No?
No, I voted in favor.
On which one, Squire Blackburn, just so we can make sure we go back and...
Review my notes, they're correct.
Squire Wisman, do you think they're correct?
I think they're correct from what I took as
Okay.
notes.
So if it's okay with you all, our clerk could go back and kind of watch a video on that.
That's fine.
Okay. Alrighty, and next I believe our county clerk is here. Jeff Hancock, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you, Judge?
I'm doing well, thank you for being here.
Court? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm the bearer of good news tonight. I don't have any bad news. I'm just bringing you good news.
We like good news and we like checks.
As you all know, we don't run on the same fiscal calendar. We run on an actual calendar. So my books ended December the 31st. I do my due diligence to get the money in your hands as quick as possible. This was the first meeting that we were able to get into and make sure all the books were precise. We do hold 10% back. The reason behind that is so we can finish out anything that may be unknown. Then we turn around and get you the remainder of the 10% before the March 15th meeting. This year, we were able to return $797,226 in excess fees. We had estimated that we would be around $564. So we're over by $230,000. We do our best to get, like I said, get the money back in your all's hands so you can allocate it where it needs to go to help the citizens of Frankfort and Franklin County. I have brought this in front of the Finance Committee. I do want to make sure that everybody knows that we have real intentions of making sure this year happens, that we can change our deed room into a genealogy search room, make it more friendly, make it more up to date, make sure the computer's in the right era, make sure that we can actually have something that's citizen friendly. That deed room, my guess is that it hasn't been adapted or updated in over, I can tell you, I started selling real estate in 1998. It looks the same way as it did then. So it's well overdue. It's time to get it cleaned up and put back together.
Jeff, have you gotten estimates on that? I know there was some engineering that had to be done because of the floor. Have you put any numbers to that yet?
I have not, because I can't. It's your building. It's your all's. I have to run it through you all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you could get with Jack maybe and let's get that process started. We'll get out maybe the next court. That's all right, the court. Get some numbers thrown to us. Okay, what questions do we have for our clerk tonight? Alrighty. Jeff, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Have a good evening. Alrighty. Next, I believe, is the, Gil, you coming up? Or yeah. It's going to be Gil, and I'm assuming Keith, maybe?
Yeah, Keith's with me.
Okay, so this is going to be talking about the industrial revenue bonds. Court, I know we've done this before. There's a couple little changes here and there, but it's basically the same that we had proposed for monoplast. So, Gil, Keith, welcome tonight. Squire?
Could I just ask Judge to start? We had two things laid on our desk right before we started here.
Okay.
And they are not redlined or edited what the text is. Could someone point out to us what changed?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was going to do that beforehand, but the first one you ought to have in front of you says 13.1, section 13.1. In section 13.1, there was a reference to manufacturing that was incorrect, and I changed the word manufacturing to hotel. The other one is I think at the bottom of the page, I don't know the page number, it should say section 15. Up in the top part of that, the word established, E-S-T-A-B-L-I-S-H, was stated in the past tense, and so we took the D off. And Jerry found those grammatical changes, that's all they were.
Thank you.
So, and then I've inserted them in, I gave them to Kim.
Yep.
She's giving them to you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Squire.
As you indicated earlier, Judge, we've done this before. It's actually almost identical, with the exception of the addition of section 15, which I'll talk about in just a moment.
Okay.
Couple of things. There always seems to be a reason to say this, but it can never be said enough. The county has no financial obligation whatsoever with respect to the issuance of a bond. You're technically not issuing a bond in the general sense that we think about that, borrowing money and using them for county purposes. This is an incentive device, as it was for the previous time we did that. And since that question is asked frequently, I brought with me a copy of the statute, KRS 103.230, subpart 2. And I have copies here that I can hand out that I highlighted, but in essence, it just says the bond shall be payable solely from the revenues derived from the building, and this is the key, and shall not constitute an indebtedness of the city or county within the meaning of the Constitution, and it shall so plainly be stated on the bonds themselves. And if you turn to page, I hope that's not coming back to me, page 7, section 9, therein it states in the resolution that it is not a debt or an obligation. It is, as the statute says, purely for the purposes of providing a local incentive to developers to locate within your community and to in fact invest in your community. These bonds are sold on a privately negotiated basis, and the purchaser of the bonds in this particular case will also be the lessee of the property. So it would be virtually impossible for him to declare himself in default. The only default he could have would be if he defaulted on the promissory note with West Banco. I need to digress a second. Russ Salzman is with us this evening. He's with the developer if any questions come up.
Perfect, thank you.
For the developer.
Welcome, Russ.
But in any event, that's the primary purpose behind doing this. And I think Keith, if this is the proper time, you tell me what you want to do. Keith can probably come back better than I can because I'm not a financial advisor and go through the numbers. But before I ask Keith to come up here and do that, I'll simply say that the whole idea is to increase revenues both from the county as well as the city's perspective. And that can only occur in the event that this transaction goes forward and that the developer does in fact proceed with the development. In the absence of the industrial revenue bond, it is my understanding that the developer will not proceed forward. And I can give that to you not as an assurance as a right, but as what's been told to me, what's been told to the county, what's been told to the school district, and what's been told to the city of Frankfort. So I know there are some number issues here, and I think there was a memorandum, should have been passed out from Compass Municipal Advisors as part of the previous package that has those numbers in there. So if you want me to bring Keith forward, I will. You tell me what you want.
Extra copy of that? This is what he's talking about. You can't leave past that. No, that's right.
Eric, you want to ask that, print one off for you?
Yeah, I don't have that.
Jenny, would you mind printing that?
I don't think Richard does that.
Do you have a copy or no? Oh, you don't have a copy. Gil, do y'all have a copy of that?
I'll give you my copy.
Yeah, Jenny can make some copies if you don't mind.
No.
Jenny, please.
Oh.
Thank you. Keith, welcome. I think everybody knows Keith. He's with Financing. I know we use them quite often.
Yeah, our role here is to represent the county and look at the economics. Gil's obviously the legal expert here. We prepared kind of a memorandum overview of what this is, but from the economics perspective, the benefits derived out of this for the economic incentive is vis-a-vis the property taxes, does not impact any of the other taxes. Specifically for the county, that's the transient room tax. So basically the business deal is a 10-year term whereby you would abate the real estate taxes, but you would then see an increase in your transient room tax over that period of time after they make the $33 million ballpark of improvements to the facility. That's generally what it is. I'm happy to get into any level of detail in terms of.
Keith, can you talk a little bit about, I think one of the things since we've been talking about this with Russ and his group was making the school system good, whole. So they've worked that out with the owner, is that correct?
That's my understanding, correct. Obviously, the school board will have to take separate action on that, but that's my understanding is they've reached an arrangement with Frankfort Independent Schools.
Yeah. And I know that's been a big thing for the court here, and I know Gil explained it to me. So if we were to pass this, then the city were to pass this, the school board too has to pass this too before it can go to DLG. So I know that was a big concern for everybody moving forward. So I just want to make sure everybody realized that. And then in addition to the the transient room tax, I think the other big number we're gonna look at is the sports commission and all that. We're gonna put $33 million into a hotel where it's gonna generate a lot of money. So that's kind of just quick cliff notes from my chair. So why don't we go ahead, and since we've been here before, let's ask Keith or Gil or Russ any questions we have on this agenda item. Squire Harrod.
I've just had 3 minor questions I asked that was talked to me today with constituents, and one of the questions was on the account of default, who would be liable? Where would the default go to? Would it go back to the
Developer
developer?
or owner,
So
whichever you
if
look
he
at it.
defaults, it goes back to the bank, it doesn't affect us?
No, sir. Does
Not one way or the other?
Not one way, shape, or form.
Okay. And another question is, I want to make sure everybody knows there's no tax dollars being used towards this. It's industrial bond money.
No tax dollars at all.
No tax dollars.
In
I just
fact,
want to make that clear.
Let me reiterate too, not only no tax dollars, but it doesn't affect your bonding capacity, it doesn't affect your debt limitation under the
Right.
Constitution either.
Thank you for saying that. And my last one is, as the monies travel through the court to payment of the bond, how do we make sure that what they're saying is getting done is done? How's it validated?
Well, let's back up. First of all, they never pass through the county,
Okay.
okay? The lease agreement is the vehicle by which those lease payments are paid by the owner
Okay.
directly to the bank. So I guess theoretically, it looks like it goes through it, but it does not. We assign that lease agreement to the bank.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So with that being said, how's the checks and balances kept up with what's being done versus what's being turned in for payment? Because the way I understand it, it's not a complete $33 million payout. It's as work is done, completed, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand your question, no.
Okay. Is it on a draw system? I guess what.
Oh, yeah, that would be through the bank only. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, you said.
That's what I was trying to clear up.
You're right, it's a little confusing. It says draw system on there. We really don't care about that.
Okay.
The bank has to be satisfied.
Okay.
If the bank's not satisfied, then yeah, the owner's got a problem. We don't.
Okay. That is what I wanted to clear up. Thank you very much.
Okay. What other questions we have for Gil, Keith, or Russ? Squire Wisman.
Gil, maybe a couple of things. The perimeter of, or the land that is included within this, let's just some really rudimentary questions if we can, just flesh out some things. I know you all have been through this a couple times with multiple bodies, including our finance committee, but a portion of the property that the hotel sits upon was owned by the state, and I believe it was transferred to the development, or to the project development, to the hotel, which was the ballroom.
Ultimately, it was.
Ultimately, that has been completed, right? So
I believe it has. You guys own it? Yes, and they paid out of their own pocket.
Okay.
Their own investment.
So the parking structure that's associated with there's now the new garage, but there's the old garage in between, and the hotel site what is the perimeter of the site? It doesn't specifically say in here anywhere where.
I don't know the perimeter. The way I handle that is that somebody has to give me a deed description that goes into the deed. That would be the same description that's in their deed. So what's going to happen, I'm pointing to the owner, they're going to give me that deed, and that's the deed description. I don't know what's in that, but I do know that the parking garage that's currently, I guess, under construction does in fact belong to the city. It doesn't belong to them.
Is there any consideration, we've never really discussed in any of these projects, of a maximum amount for community that we should consider, or are we contributing to 2 projects significantly when we need to think about our total amount of capacity to issue these types of incentives to other projects in the community? Is there?
There's no statutory or constitutional limitation on the incentives. You arrive at least in my experience, you arrive at the amount of the incentives depending upon what the developer estimates the cost of his particular project would be. And then we overstate it by roughly 10% or so in order to cover any cost overruns that may occur. Don't want to keep coming back every time you have to increase it by a nickel.
Judge, maybe Russ could speak to just what the scope of the project is. I'd like,
Sure.
There's been a lot of discussion in the community some concern we're feeling, but what does this project look like exactly for the community? What is the level of renovation? What other incentives are you maybe using to fill out your finance package? We'll talk about your capital stack a little bit and why this is necessary.
Well, to answer that, the capital stack.
Hey, Russ, make sure you get to the mic, please, because we got someone on.
We've got some investors that we've gathered some money from. The rest of it is in the bank, with the exception of, we're going to get a tourism incentive, and then also the History Center, the Historical Society. We actually got the hotel put on the National Register. Yeah. And that allowed us to seek out these history incentives, and the board was very excited about the project.
Nationally, guys, we got listed as a nationally significant site, even though it was built in the 70s, primarily for political corruption, just to throw that out. I think it's kind of hilarious, but it's what it is.
We're not the only people on the history register like that. There are quite a few.
What is this, $33 million seems vast. I've had several questions asking me, my God, how much, what else are they using? Why is that such a big number? So it seems to be a pretty massive renovation.
It is.
Is it going to include in convention space? Is it going to include renovation of that existing parking area, the old garage, let's call it? Can you give the community a little bit of a...
Sure, absolutely.
That's not included in
And thanks for that question. It's I really appreciate it. The parking garage was renovated before we took control of the building. The previous owner had that done, which we were very glad of, and it's in great shape. We're real pleased with it. Everything else is going to change. From the roof to ceiling to windows, all the outside, putting a color on the building, it's going to be completely different on the outside. Inside the hotel, every room, we've stripped 2 floors down to bare walls, bare floors right now. They're gutted. The water facilities, everything's coming out. We put it back like some stand-up showers and things of that nature. The rooms are going to be completely flipped. And we actually have pictures at the hotel, and they may be online. I can't swear to that, but I think they're maybe on the website as well. But we can get you all anything you want to see on the rooms. The first floor is where a lot of the work begins. So the first floor is going to be pretty much completely different when we finish. We're going to redo the floors. We're going to redo the walls. Right now we have opened the restaurant and we've opened the old bar area back up. But that's going to kind of move. I mean, the bar is going to be in that center horseshoe that sort of faces the door. You walk in the front door, and that's going to be a bar all the way around, but a lounge, that sort of thing. It's going to be pretty good size, and we're real pleased with it. We're going to have tables and things like that over in the seating area over there as well. So it's going to be a really very nice. The restaurant is going to move back, but not, if you know where the old restaurant was, it's not going to be back there. That's going to be additional meeting space. But we're moving it back to some of the other areas that we're going to have a brand new restaurant. And I don't know if you all have checked it out yet, but I really encourage you to go over and see even our limited menu that we're serving now. We have a kitchen manager that we're just thrilled with. She came from Savannah, Georgia, and she's really bringing the fire. We really love what she's doing. So that's going to go back there. It's going to be a larger size. The room in the back is going to be meeting space. Do you all know where the old caucus room is on the back, the old caucus room? We're actually doubling the size of that and making a second ballroom. That's going to be over 6,000 square feet. I'm not exactly sure of the number, but it's going to be bigger than the old ballroom that we have, which we're going to keep. All gutted, all renovated. So we're going to have a significant amount more of meeting and conference space and things like that, because we expect that to be a big part of our business. So the first floor is going to be completely transformed. The rooms are going to be transformed. Everything else, it's going to be a different hotel. We've got the bones, but everything else we're going to be working on. So.
Any change to the number of rooms versus condos, or that was a question?
Not yet. as you know, the previous, the condos or the apartments were the first, top 2 floors. Well, I think a few years back, the previous owner turned the 8th floor into condos as well. So what we're going to do is start with 163 rooms that are in the building right now, hotel rooms. And we hope in a few years to get to the point that we need more. And, we may look at transitioning that 7th floor through attrition. We're not going to throw anybody out of their condos or anything like that. And that's a big if, we'll see. But right now we have 163 rooms. We anticipate using as many of them as we can. We've got a sales force, we've got a marketing system that it's all new, and we're already going after conference business and things like that. I think we're going to get it. It's going to be very exciting.
If you could just talk maybe about the term of renovation, is this a
1 year?
1 year? And then
We hope less, but it'll be 1 year. We're planning on 2027 to be our year that we're start new.
And then just, what's your capital stack look like? What is the total renovation estimate that you need to 33 million in?
It's going to be, in renovation, it's going to be like 27. Is that what you're asking?
Your total investment really in the thing that makes sense for this fairly large ask, the community's $33 million and we're explaining it. I'm trying just to walk everyone through all the questions.
Sure. And then Russ, the other 6 is purchase into profit.
Yeah, purchase. We purchased for 6 and the rest is going to be in the renovation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Squire Dykes, did you have your hand up over there?
I just wanted to say I was there last week for 3 days and brought some people in from out of state and we were able to buy food from them and it was super good.
Well, good.
It was really good.
you.
My understanding is they're now, you can go pick food up from
Yeah,
there now and
you
take
can
it out.
order
So
online now. That sort of thing.
those folks are great.
Isn't it great?
It's really good,
Yeah.
I'm glad the renovations are happening. It needs to happen, but they are fantastic.
I tell people I started knocking around that hotel when in about 85, 86, something like that, and it's the best food I've ever known there. It really is spectacular.
Russ, I want to say thank you for your investment. I know, over the years, meeting with Buffalo Trace, that's been their biggest issue. They want to be able to have places to hold people in this community. And adding another 160 rooms to downtown Frankfort, it's going to make a big difference.
And as you probably know, Judge, we've reached out many times to Buffalo Trace and looking to partner, to work together to serve their needs and that sort of thing, and as well as the other distilleries around. But Buffalo Trace has been a real friend to us.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Squire Wisman.
I'll just say, for the community, I'm usually fairly critical of things, and I think we have to be in our role, especially in this kind of capacity. But I think everyone knows that building is, most hotels need a annual decade facelift, right?
This was about 4 late.
Keep them current and keep them desirable, and I've stayed there at times and not put people there. So I think it is an imperative thing. Most of the community knows this needs a serious facelift. We're losing money, we're losing attractions, we're not getting those mid-level conferences and small collectors groups and things that we can be really primed for. So it's needed, and I will say I know some folks that have worked on your project, and I think you all are using really a broad array of incentives and pools of money, pots of money that sit out there all over federal government and state government to make this project work. And this is really just a mechanism that puts no liability to the county whatsoever to make all of that work. So the money that's coming in from other pots to make the project viable gives you all a lot of flexibility, I guess, in being able to renovate and meet the metrics of what's financially capable currently, right?
Correct. Yes, and we've had, that's been financial analysts all the way through this project from the beginning, from the time we started talking about it, getting to the level of what we think the market can handle in terms of a renovation. What I hear from people, having been in Frankfurt for 30 years myself, is they will say $33 million. Well, it was built for 5 or 2 or whatever it was. But the market can handle it. And we're going above and beyond that. We're trying to do things like start a bourbon tour. from the start and stop from the hotel for people for bourbon tourism. Now, we are not basing our hotel on bourbon.
Yeah.
Because, bourbon is up and down, and right now it's in a down spot. But we're looking at a lot of other things, a lot of other areas, like the conferences, and, just promoting ourselves.
And I hope it'll be a flagship for our community. It's needed, so.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. All righty, any other question, concerns, comment while we have Russ, Gil, or Keith here? All righty, we can keep moving. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. All righty, next I believe we have Belinda. Good evening, Belinda, how are you? Good. We're doing great. Beautiful day.
A little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly. Yeah.
This is a one-year contract agreement with McCarthy Strategic Solutions for both state and federal lobbying services. It is a renewal of last year's agreement, and the terms of the agreement are the same as were approved last year. The agreement will run from February 1st of this year through January 31st of 2027. The cost of the agreement is $5,000 per month, plus all applicable taxes and registration fees. The contract also allows for up to $500 per month for any special expenses such as travel costs with the pre-approval of Fiscal Court. Jeff Harper, a principal with McCarthy Strategic Solutions, is here this evening to answer any questions you may have about the agreement.
Perfect, thank you, Belinda. Welcome, Jeff, come on up. We're not gonna let you off that easy. You're not just gonna sit there, buddy.
Judge, thank you. Appreciate it. Let me just say on behalf of our firm, McCarthy, it's been a pleasure working with the judge in this fiscal court, just creating awareness upon the hill of the needs and the priorities of this fiscal court. Now the rubber's going to hit the road, so to speak. We've created that awareness. We've had a lot of positive meetings, I think, with key decision makers in the General Assembly. So now it's execution time. This is obviously a budget session. Just finished day 10 of the 60-day session. So appreciate your all support, and it's been a pleasure working, and we look forward to getting some resolutions to your all's priority needs this session, Judge.
And I do want to let the court know, I believe Belinda has, there was some requests on that last meeting we had as a committee of the whole as far as some, I think the road department, Mike Dees, and went around, they looked at bridges, they looked at roads, they fed the information, so that's all been given to the lobbyist at the request of, I think, when they were here during the meeting.
Yeah, I thought that was very positive.
Yeah.
John and I spent that hour and a half, I think.
Yep.
So
what question, concerns, comments do we have for Mr. Harper while he's with us tonight? I just want to say, I feel like they're doing a great job. They've been very transparent. I can call, they'll pick up the phone. We don't know what's going to happen this year up there, if they're going to let money go or not. I mean, there's a whole lot of questions, but I do feel like they've gotten us in front of anybody they can up there. We've met with the speaker and everybody else. So I personally feel like y'all are doing a really good job, and I know you're a big firm, but I do feel that you're taking care, of us. There hasn't been a point that I have not been dissatisfied with communication or anything like that. So, and to your point, that was where the rubber meets the road,
Correct.
So hopefully we'll get some things that we're asking for.
Correct.
Yep.
That's the goal.
All righty. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments for Belinda or Mr. Harper on this?
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, guys.
All righty. Thank you very much. All righty. Belinda, you got another?
I do.
No, just one. Three. Okay, you.
I have
Go
this
ahead.
one and then one later.
Yeah, no, I might just leave you up there. We'll jump around a little bit. No sense. Keep going.
Whatever you want to do. This is an application to apply for a Kentucky Board of Emergency Medical Services Ambulance Block Grant in the amount of $10,000. As a county government, Fiscal Court is the agency eligible to apply for the grant. The funds will be used to purchase a portable ventilator for use in a Frankfurt Fire and EMS ambulance. The estimated cost of the ventilator is $23,312.93. This exceeds the grant amount by $13,312.93, which will be paid from the EMS equipment budget. The city will then bill the county's portion, which is typically 25%, so in this case, $3,328.23, to Fiscal Court through our existing agreement with them. Joe Sebastian, the EMS director, is here this evening to address any questions you may have about the grant application or the ventilator.
You want to go ahead and come up, Mr. Bash? I'm sure, I guarantee it's going to be a question or two, so. How you doing tonight?
Good, sir.
Good, thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us a little bit about the importance of needing this ventilator?
Okay, so it's it's essentially a modern hospital-type ventilator that allows for like a lung protective strategy and allows for just a higher level of care compared to like an old school ventilator. An old school ventilator is you set breathing rate and breathing volume, it sends it. The two downsides to that is that you could have somebody with some restrictive lungs, it sends it, it doesn't inflate the lungs enough, you don't breathe enough. The other downside is it could send it and it could overpressurize and cause like barrel trauma or pressure trauma to the patient. So an old school ventilator could do one of those two things and it gives you no real feedback. A hospital type ventilator, this type, it'll do that, but it'll give you feedback so you can adjust for and dial in lung protective inputs on it. So essentially, it's just a modern ventilator. We have one on the front line. We run 5 frontline ambulances, or four all the time, and then a day truck. This will make it so that all 5 of those ambulances have a modern ventilator on it.
Okay. What's the life expectancy of something like this?
Anything that touches the patient, you're looking at like 8 years.
Okay. Alrighty, what questions does the court have on this agenda item?
I was just gonna ask how many we had, but he answered my question.
All right, Scar Wisman.
Could you tell us, this is a little outside of the scope of our current EMS agreement, with us being the financial applicant. I think the county, Belinda, you're saying is going to be the applicant, and if awarded, we're going to transfer that to the city.
It's exactly like we did it last year. They will award it to us this summer, we send them the check, and then they purchase the ventilator, and with our interlocal agreement, my understanding is the county's responsible for a portion of it.
Just the question is, within the context of the price of this thing, is the funding within the line item already of the city's budget for this, or is there an intent to buy something like this if we don't get this grant? And if we do get the grant, is the city going to contribute the 75% out of the EMS budget?
Essentially, I mean, it's a needed item. I usually just to make it sting less, attach it to this yearly grant. But it's something that we need, that we're going to purchase either way.
Okay, either way. Okay, thanks.
All right, any other questions from the court? All right, thank you for being with us tonight.
Cool, thank you.
Belinda, why don't you go ahead and come back up and we'll get you finished. If y'all don't mind, let's jump to 10 real quick, since this is Belinda's last one. So go ahead and tell us about this.
Okay. This is an amendment to our existing work order with H&B for the Forks of Elkhorn Creek Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. The State Historic Preservation Office has requested an archaeological survey because it appears that there is a high potential for archaeological resources within portions of the project footprint. Included in your packet is a letter from Craig Potts, the Executive Director and State Historic Preservation Officer, detailing the request. The amendment will authorize the work as a lump sum cost of $9,250. As with the existing work order, this cost is associated with a Kentucky Infrastructure Authority line item grant for $2.8 million for the Forks of Elkhorn Creek project. Brandon Baxter with H&B is here this evening to answer any questions you may have regarding this.
Brandon, you want to go ahead and come up, please? Could you just tell us a little bit about, is this normal, is this standard, anything like that you could fill the court in?
Sure, absolutely. So with any project that's funded by state or federal dollars, you have to go through an environmental clearance at the beginning of it. And normally that's just a submittal to some key agencies, just to name a few. Is you've got Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, State Historic Preservation Office, which has requested this, and the Natural Resources Commission Service. When we submit those, they do a check on the project based on where the area is, and they kind of give us an indicator if we've got anything that's going to possibly be impacted. With the Fish and Wildlife agencies, it's endangered species, both animals and plants. And with the SHPO, it tends to be archaeological remains. So at the beginning of projects, we don't really know if we're going to have to do an archaeological investigation. So that's why that wouldn't have been started at the very beginning, included with the contract. So when we submit this, they come back with the letter, and we actually have archaeological services within house, so we provided the amendment that you all got for review.
Okay, thank you. All right, what questions does anybody have for Belinda or Brandon on this agenda item? Squire Wisman.
Brandon, walk us through, this is, the SHPO actually gave us notice about a year ago that they thought there might be some below-ground resources, is usually what it's called, in this area. Walk us through what it looks like as if things are discovered, which there is some known archaeological deposits in the area already. What that looks like in terms of this project, if it has to be redesigned and/or hits, if the current design impacts historic resources, then it either has to be redesigned or it has to go through a process of remediation. Can you walk us through a little bit of that and what that looks like for a timeline and/or possible additional cost for the project?
Sure, no, absolutely. So as far as impact to design, right now we're in very preliminary stages. We do this up front just in case that this happens. So right now we've got an alignment that is preferred for us right now. So if we were to encounter these resources whenever we they perform their investigation, what we would do is we would come up with a new alignment and have to do a resubmittal on that. Now that just kind of falls within the normal day-to-day of this. There could be additional archaeological investigations if they come back and say, okay, well now based off of this one, you're going to have to go in this location over here and you're going to have to dig. It is possible if there's significant remains, and typically that ends up being like human remains and stuff are found, burial grounds, that they could require some remediation type tactics to go through that can significantly derail the project. You can still finish the project. We've been through a project up in the northern part of the state to where that did happen. It just caused a delay that's pretty significant, but it has been finished, and there are methods to get around it.
Okay.
Would you like me to elaborate more on that, or?
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
That does it. That's what I was.
Squire Tanner, you have a question?
Thanks.
Yeah, well, just briefly, this is $9,250 regardless of the amount of work you run into if you strike archaeological remains or Indian airheads or whatever you might want to say.
Let me glance at this real quick because I am in a different area and stuff and make sure they didn't add anything extra on here. But I'm pretty sure that it's one lump sum and they're not saying any additional per find or anything like that, but.
It's a lump sum.
So if they discover an obstacle there, that is covered with their $9,250.
Yes, sir. Because in that event, they're documenting it. And this is a search and documentation procedure and not necessarily something that they have to go back in and do anything special or remove the remains.
But when you're working around a creek, there's a possibility you can find lots of things.
Yes, sir. Natural resource.
Right. Yep. Just wonder if that was covered as open-ended and
This
is all we're gonna do for $9,000, but you're gonna finish the work, whatever.
I mean, the scope right here shows that we're replying to what the SHPO demanded. So there was 4 sites, so for those 4 sites, we're doing 4 shovel digs in those areas, documenting what's there and filling the report out. If they come back with more, then there will be additional, but it's just replying to what they have.
Squire, that's kind of what I was getting towards. This is a one-day field work, lump sum, and depending upon what it discovers, there may be, what I was getting at, there may be a whole significant slew of other work and/or project redesigns. It's completely contingent, but I'm trying to warn the court that I've been made aware that there are likely deposits there that are going to impact this project. So, surprises and additional cost, be ready, potentially.
But I think ultimately that's why we're doing it in the beginning before anything really gets started.
We're required to.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon,
requires us to do just this.
thank you very much for being here tonight.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Belinda, thank you. Alrighty, we'll go back to item number 8. I believe Autumn is with us. How you doing tonight, Autumn?
Doing well.
Great.
This item is a first reading for an ordinance, for a zoning ordinance text amendment. This text amendment includes modifications to allow for an alternate zone change process provided for by KRS 100.2111. The city previously adopted a very similar text amendment, probably about 2 years ago. So we are kind of trying to catch up with them. As you are aware, currently the zone change process operates under KRS 100.211, which allows for fiscal court to give 2 readings to any zone change request or to opt to hold a hearing. This process is and you have to act within 90 days of the Planning Commission's action. This alternate zone change process really is about streamlining that and cutting down the time on zone changes that are not contested or controversial. And so it allows for the Planning Commission's recommendation to become final by process of law after 21 days. If an aggrieved party does not submit in writing that they are aggrieved and would like the fiscal court to go through the old process, basically, or the fiscal court could also opt to go through that old process as well. So I'll kind of go through what the changes are to the text. There are a couple of small things that are sort of cleanup items, including noting that the county's zoning map atlas be generated via GIS rather than a paper map. That's what we're doing already anyway, but wanting to update that here. Again, another provision that we're already doing is for a zone change application, we require that the property owner sign off on the application for a zone change. So we're just including that here as well, that they have to do that. Item C on the second page of amendments that's been crossed out was sort of an unclear provision for requiring notice. Item B remains where we notify the adjacent property owner by mail of a public hearing for a zone change application. We're striking the provision that talks about subdivisions because those terms are not defined and we have not been able to do that historically because it is so vague. We've not had any issues with that, so we're just striking that. Then we kind of get into the meat of the alternate zone change process. Basically, this will allow for the commission's recommendation to become final after 21 days. Unless an aggrieved person files a written request with the commission that the final decision be made by the fiscal court, or the fiscal court files a notice with the commission that the fiscal court shall decide the zone map amendment, and it shall take a majority of the fiscal court to override the recommendations of the commission. That's already the case. This language is pretty much straight from KRS 100.2111. That's what our recommendation is. I did have a conversation this morning with Squire Tanner and the judge, and they had a couple of concerns regarding the timeline and just sort of clarifying a couple of items and making sure that you all receive appropriate notice, which administratively we would notify you once the Planning Commission had acted, but we can include that language here specifically that states that the Planning Department shall forward a summary of the Planning Commission's actions to the fiscal court within a certain timeline or something to that effect, to make sure that you all get that in an adequate time. There was also a little bit of concern about 21 days. That's the language straight from KRS, but there was an interest expressed in changing that to maybe 31 days, so we can have a conversation about that. And finally, just clarifying that in Section 2, that the Franklin County Fiscal Court be able to file a notice with the commission that could include any individual member of the fiscal court, rather than you all having to come together to make an action to request that. There was also one question about sort of defining who an aggrieved person is. I think that we could potentially add some language there that states that whenever an aggrieved person files a written request, that written request describe the manner in which they are aggrieved. We would have to make a determination whether they're aggrieved or not. And I think we would take a pretty broad approach to that, because that is something that's, I guess, hard to identify, can be. But with that, I'll open it up to any questions and discussion.
First. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, we talked about every issue that you brought up, and all those take care of most of my worries about this, but there was one more that I didn't bring up, and that's the regular maintenance of the GPS system, what would that be?
So that is what we do currently. That is.
The GIS database and is to be maintained regularly. Should
Yes.
that be defined or not? That's a
Perhaps
question.
it could be further defined. Whenever we go through a zone change process and a zone is changed currently, you know, our staff goes in and makes that change to the data, and it is reflected in the map. So we do that after a zone change is finalized. There's not a specific timeline that we do that. I guess we could take that route. But right now, that's just handled administratively in our office.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I want to thank the planning director for being with us. In light of those conversations and some discussion about making some changes here, could we possibly table this item for those changes to be incorporated therein and then brought back to the court? I don't know if that discussion has been held. I think I'm hearing everything pretty well here. But it seems like a number of things were discussed and some potential changes in there in regard to some dates, moving it from 21 to 31 and some clarification language. So it may seem better for us possibly to table this item and then have those changes incorporated therein so that we could see the final version.
I think that's up to the court. However you all want to handle it, it will require a second reading regardless. So I think that those they're minor enough changes that I would feel comfortable making those changes and getting you that updated draft for a second reading. But if you all don't feel comfortable with that, we can certainly bring it back again.
Okay, what's the consensus of the court? Because this is just first reading. Squire Blackburn, I'm sorry, I think you had your hand up too, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, because they're not.
Because we're not voting on it tonight.
And we're not voting tonight. I did have a question, though. You said it would shorten the time to 21 days unless you had a written ask from the public or the fiscal court wanted to intervene on that. Would, if you had one of those two things, would that change the timeline back to the 90-day?
Yes.
Okay, so that would just fall under that.
Correct.
All right. But otherwise, it would just be order of law and it would occur.
Yes.
Squire Tanner.
All right. Squire Blackburn, I understand that that 21 days will be moved to 31 because of the period of time the court could miss the whole thing because of the way we meet.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you or I are a member of the community, we could write a letter and say, hey, stop. But I get that too. You understand, I'm not against 30 days.
But the court could not take action.
Right.
They could miss it. They could miss it with 21 days.
Right, I understand. I'm fine with that.
Squire Wisman?
Several things, if we can walk through a little bit here. Let's just start at the top. The GIS, I mean, you will update that regularly as soon as within, I'd say, a few days, so I don't have any issues with that. But removing the notice, in your understanding of the document, Autumn, I'm assuming this would then go to say that only properties with adjoining property lines, no neighbors with adjoining property lines to any parcel would be notified, rather than say everyone within a physical subdivision that may be in the county and or the city. How would you interpret that then for notification in the future? Because I think the more the better, but can we vet that particularly when there's an issue in, say, a platted subdivision where it's more appropriate to notice 25 people about one zone change that may affect them versus something in the rural part of the county where it has, 3 boundary property owners that are all hundreds of acres each.
Sure.
How do you think your office will manage that if we strike that through?
This is practically how we have been operating. My understanding is that historically, basically, this provision has not been used because it is so vague as to what is an approved subdivision. Is that, I mean, anything that has been subdivided is a subdivision, the way this isn't defined in a specific way for this provision. And one block is also not defined. Is that a dimensional requirement, or is that until you hit the next street? What does one block mean? So we have historically been notifying adjacent property owners, which include anyone who abuts your property lines and is directly across the street from you. And then we also post a sign for zone changes, so that catches a lot of the neighborhood concern. This body or the planning commission, could recommend other means of notification or other, a radius or something to that effect, that I think would perhaps be more practical than this provision that exists and has not been used.
That's what I'm asking for. Should we add some clause about property owners within 1,000 feet? Or something to that effect, so you have a little bit better metric about who's supposed to be notified. It would seem to create an issue with your vague language, that someone could argue that I'm aggrieved because I didn't get notification, and I'm adjacent, I'm in the same neighborhood, but
Sure.
I didn't get notice, so I'm aggrieved of this process.
Yeah. I'm happy to have that conversation if there's a particular number that
I'm asking, since you brought up that
Yeah.
that was vague and a complication in the past, it seems to be the time to fix it if there's,
Sure.
if we're opening up the ordinance. And then if I can go on further, I suppose I want to ask your opinion about how this would work, because as it stands, I'm fundamentally against this change. I don't like that we are, I didn't like the city did this, and I was hoping it would never come to the county, but I knew it would. But I don't like that we're, in a sense, in my opinion, potentially silencing citizens in their right to come to elected officials to say, I need you to intervene on this zone request, because as this stands, it would effectively give the Planning Commission the final authority, potentially, and I'm just being a devil's advocate on some things, right? Because I've seen the way planning issues work in our community. But if there was not the will of a majority of this body to bring up something, then that stands, and you have decisions being made directly by people that aren't elected.
Squire, can I ask, how would we be silencing people if all it takes is a phone call or an email for
That's
us
what
to go back to the old system? And even the whole court doesn't have to vote on it, just one person.
That's
might
what I'm
say-
asking. Well,
Yeah,
right now, it says a majority of the court has to agree to take it up.
No.
Yeah, no, it should be any
does-
member of the fiscal court.
It-
That's
correct?
what I'm asking for.
Okay,
does not.
okay.
That was what was said, but that's not what's in the draft here. So I'm asking, how do you think, as what you
Sure.
walked us through, will work in reality?
Sure.
When I have something that comes up in the rural part of the district,
Mm-hmm.
or we have something that comes up right on the city property boundaries, does that, in what you're stating, that edits there, does that mean that any citizen or any one individual of this court can make the determination to bring it to the court, or how do you see that functioning, I guess, is my question.
Sure. I think that any aggrieved person can file a written request. So, that language is straight out of the KRS, any aggrieved person. So once we receive that letter, that reverts us back to the old process, in my opinion. The second option, that the fiscal court file a notice, my interpretation would be that would not have to be the full court. I think we can clarify that so that it can say, or any individual member. The line that you referenced about the majority of the fiscal court, that's to override the recommendation of the planning commission, meaning that when you all vote on it, you have to have a majority to override, not that you have to have a majority to take it up.
Okay. And then there's two things there, if I can. As we discovered in one process where we had a couple of members that had to recuse themselves on an issue, it isn't just a simple majority of the fiscal court. We probably ought to clarify that language is a majority of the full body, all 7 members. It takes
I can
5
check on
members
that.
in 4 members in any which way, or 5 members.
I can check on that. That language is what is existing in the standard zone change process as well, so it would not be a change. But I can look
Just
into
that came up
whether
once
that's
before, right?
the full court or the
Number two,
present
it would be, to me,
membership.
that was clear, but you could make it more clear.
And then maybe the final question I have is, we've asked this before, we've never really quite got an answer upon when the planning commission takes final action. Is that upon the point that they approve a zone change, or when they approve the minutes of the zone change, or when the date that they send over a zone change for us to consider as a court currently, even though you all are in in the meetings and notified immediately. The court necessarily isn't until generally the minutes are approved. So
Sure.
at what point, I think we've asked for some legal guidance in that before, but I'm wanting to nail that down here, that a final action to approve a zone change or deny a zone change
Sure.
shall be the final action for the court or any aggrieved party to act, or upon the adoptance of minutes, or how, where, at
Sure.
what point in time?
I've asked county attorney, he's looking it up in the statute, because I think we've had that question
We
before.
have, we've asked a couple times.
And I'm trying to remember
Yeah, and-
when the clock actually starts,
I
because
would-
it's been a thing, so, if it's okay, while he's looking that up, can I, have Squire Harrod ask a question? Squire Wisman, is that okay?
Yeah, I
You
think
good?
that was all I have for
Okay,
now.
thank you. Squire Harrod, you had your hand up earlier.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, I know in the county, it's on a farm property, at the entrance of the farm, that's where we put our sign. So if there's a change in the subdivision, is it put in the yard, or is it put on the entrances or exits?
It's on the property.
On the property?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And if that property has more than one road frontage, we put two up or
So
however,
they see
whatever.
it either
Yeah.
way?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what is the consensus? I know Squire Sebastian wanted to table this. Squire Blackburn said he felt comfortable letting the planning director kind of make some changes before she comes back, the next court meeting. What is everybody thoughts on that?
If it being the first reading, I don't see why we couldn't see what you had changed, then look at it before the
Let me see and make sure I understand what you said. If we make the changes to it, we're gonna be able to see those changes
Yeah.
before we vote on it.
Yeah.
And if we don't like them, we can kick it down the road
Yeah.
then.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I was saying.
I thought that's what you
Yeah,
said.
okay. Mr. County Attorney, did you find that interesting? Oh, Squire, I'm sorry, Squire Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
My only comment wasn't that I wanted, I want to be very clear.
Okay.
Not that I wanted to table it. My question is, based on the conversation, does it warrant us tabling it to come back?
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Moved in the room there, so
Okay, I apologize. I mistook what you said then. So yeah, I believe the mood in the room is that our planning director is going to make these changes, and then we'll get new copies of this, and then the second reading will be at our next court meeting, and if for some reason, and we can still change things then, and if for some reason everyone's not happy with it, to Squire Tanner's point, we could table it then for further discussion. Thank you for clarifying that. I misunderstood you. I apologize.
And I won't overstep Max, but I will say that I have talked to other planning directors throughout the state who use this process and ask kind of how they handle,
Yeah.
how that 21 days
When
works.
the clock starts.
And when the clock starts. And it is consistent with my historic understanding that final action is the planning commission's action at their meeting. The reason that we wait to bring the zone change to you typically for the minutes is so that you all have a complete official record to review. It's not that the action is not already final, it's just so that you have that complete official minutes included in your record to make that review. But the majority of other jurisdictions do send some sort of notice immediately after the planning commission's action, and then that clock starts ticking at the planning commission's action, and after 21 days, it is noted, reflected, and the map is changed regarding the zone change, so.
Okay.
But if Max finds something different.
Go ahead, Mr. County Attorney.
211 subsection 8 says final action upon such proposal. So that would be when they take their final action, not necessarily approval of the minutes.
Okay.
Because that's not a final action on the proposal.
Okay, thank you. Squire.
Autumn, just one more thing. Would you walk us through what you envision exactly to be a notification to the body, and maybe even imagining the larger community about that zone change action? It would seem to be appropriate that we post something to our website, as well as send an email to the full elected body, us or in the future, about an action the next business day following the planning commission's action. Could we add that language in some way?
I don't know that it's necessary to add that language, because I think it would be sort of an administrative standard operating procedure. You all don't approve all of our applications and then that sort of thing for all of the things that we do. I suppose you could. But I have started working on a draft, and I don't have it in front of me, but of a document that we would complete after a planning commission meeting the next day, that would indicate, the basic information of the zone change that was probably from the legal ad and from the staff report. And then we would include a summary that stated, who from staff presented it perhaps, and then that 3 people spoke in support and 2 people spoke in opposition. The commission had discussion, the commission voted, and how the commission voted, 5-2 or whatever, and we could even say who voted how, and that would be on a document that we would email to you the day after the hearing.
Autumn, I would just ask, this is all good questions, I would just ask when that goes out, and that's kind of an SOP we'll have to create to make sure we do it after every one, that maybe in the memo item, it's all capital letters or something, and it's because everyone gets so many emails. I don't want it to get lost and then somebody say we weren't notified. So if we could maybe talk about that a little bit too, as far as, making sure it's all caps or something.
Yeah, anytime I'm sending something to you all, especially as a standard operating procedure, I want to be sure that it's something that you all want to see and that is clear and, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Can I make a request that the deviation from the 21 days would probably be the best in writing as opposed to a phone call or a in-passing conversation or something like that? Is I don't know if the magistrates want to get in a certain situation where they're standing in Kroger and somebody says, hey, I was aggrieved by this, and then they're then responsible to carry that back to the court. So if it could be in writing, that would probably be the best. Is like I said, you're out at a function, walking down the street, passing by somebody makes a phone call, that way there's something in writing that says when it was done, possibly, prefer a date on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
And
that's
I've
an
also
issue.
started drafting a form that we would ask folks to fill out whenever they were saying that they were aggrieved. If they're coming in on that 21st day and they send me an email that says I'm aggrieved, I'm not going to turn them away because I've got something in writing that meets, the letter of this, but I'm also going to provide them with a form that says, I'm so-and-so, I'm aggrieved by this particular case and all that, so that we have a record so that we can include it in the file and all that.
To kind of standardize the
Document.
form so we have to keep good records.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Autumn, thank you very much. We look forward to you making some minor changes to that. Next, I believe Chief Brewer's with us. Good evening, Chief. How are you doing?
Good evening. Doing well. Hope y'all are doing well. So this item here is just authorizing the application of a grant through the Fire Commission. They've just released their PPE grant. It's covering up to 2 sets of fire gear, $7,000 for departments to apply for if awarded. That'll cover 2 sets of coats and pants.
Okay. Any questions for Chief on this? All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're trying.
All righty, Amy, I know you're hiding over there. Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. What do you have for us tonight?
So this is the first reading of Budget Amendment Number 3. And we are amending in 2 grant awards, surplus auction proceeds, clerk excess fees, insurance proceeds, interest earned on our bond and the CDs in the capital fund, as well as from reserves, $166,000 to cover salt.
Okay, what questions does the court have with Amy on these transfers? All righty, keep rolling, please.
The next agenda item is the quarterly report that's been submitted to DLG, and I'll go over the details of that. In this next agenda item, which is the treasurer's report, so we've completed 6 months of our fiscal year. Summary receipts are at $22.4 million, expenditures $26.5, adding in the fund balance of $29.6, that brings us to a balance of $25.5 million. I also have the revenues and the expenses as of January 16 in your packet.
All righty, any questions, concerns, comments with Amy on this report? All righty.
And then my final agenda item is a budget transfer. Occupational tax, we do an estimate of how much she's going to have in refunds. We have no idea how much that's going to be, but we need some more money in that line item. So we're requesting to move $5,000 into the occupational tax refunds.
All right, any questions for Amy on this?
I got a curiosity question. Who generally gets those occupational tax refunds?
It could be anyone, anybody that's
Anybody?
overpaid.
Just whoever files?
Yeah,
Amy, thank you very much.
thank you.
Next agenda item, payment of claims. Does anybody have any questions for our clerk, Ms. Kim, on payment of claims? Squire Sebastian.
No, thank you, Judge. I noticed that there was a considerable medical cost for the jail above and beyond. Do we have any information what led to that overage? It's kind of dark here, so bear with me here.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Amy's coming back up. She might have something for us.
So I just had a budget meeting, a mid-year budget meeting with the jailer, and we did talk about the overages. And their comment was the pharmacy.
Yeah, and that's what it notes. It's on page 1 of the jail fund, and it's under account 035101-343, and the overage in this bill shows $12,382.84. So that's a pretty considerable overage since our last meeting.
Amy, do they have any thoughts, or have we talked to the healthcare company? I mean, I know the more people we have, it's not, you know, I mean, what was that number that's in there now, 360 or something? I mean, 339, yeah, so that's considerable. We're used to about 230, so I'm sure that has something to do with it too.
Yeah, I did discuss with them how we were going to probably end up an
Yeah.
estimate in the year. It will go over in that line item. It
Yeah.
usually does, but they do
It
feel
does.
like they have money in another line item that's going to cover it.
Okay, all right, it's a great question.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, great question, Squire Sebastian, thank you. Squire Wisman.
Judge, I just wanted to ask, maybe you know better than, or the road committee or something, you know, we've got almost 800 ton of salt that's in this budget, or in these bills, sorry. And we only have 2,000 left from what he said. That is an amazing amount that we've went through this year. I'm wondering if this is some recent bills as well, if we have more coming, or sort of what the picture looks like for, since we're moving some money too for salt, what the rest of the year looks like for us.
I mean, typically on an average year, we've had quite a few of little events, you know, and I
Yeah.
think that's where it's going. On an average year, Franklin County averages about 2,000 to 2,500 yards of salt. So, you know, right now they're sitting on pretty good. They're 2,000. I mean, it's pretty full down there, you know. So, I think this is going to take care of the rest of the year, no problem. So, Mr. Dees, you want to add anything to that?
Maybe the 800 ton you're seeing is the last bills that come in, because we had a standing order of 3,000 tons, and we didn't get it all at once. We used part of it, and then we ordered like 500 or 600 more, and the last load that was brung in was the 800 tons. And they just finished it up maybe last week or week before last. So that may be what you're seeing.
Okay.
But we don't have any more ordered right now.
There's 7 bills, so I assumed we were sort of playing catch-up, or something was going on that we had so much of that all at once, or if it was just per event that we were sort of ordering every time.
No, we just get it when they'll bring it to us.
Okay.
I know when we do the reverse auction, Squire Wisman, you know, we say how much we're planning on purchase, and I know this year was 3,000, and so I think that's where we are right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with the budget transfer, I was worried that we may not be doing quite enough, so.
Yeah, we talked about that today in the meeting, just as far as make sure they budget accordingly. But, you know, really, let's say we don't get any more events, which we know we're going to. So really, we don't know where we are until almost spring, you know?
Yeah.
Squire Harry.
I was just gonna say, you know, if we do luck out and don't get very many more major events, then we'll be ahead next year going in.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It's
Perfect.
give and take.
Yeah, alrighty. Next is the authorization for the appointments of Franklin County Extension Office. I want to thank everyone who serves on that board. They are very active. One is an existing person that would like to keep going, and one member is new, so.
It's taking a while to open.
And then after that is the Board of Zoning Adjustments. Both these individuals currently serving, but they wish to continue to serve, so I just want to say thank you for what they do, so. Alrighty, other business. Oh, I'm sorry, Squire Sebastian.
No, thank you, Judge. I just wanted to ask if we have any applications on file for either of these boards that we're just hanging on to.
Any, in addition to these people?
Yes, because clearly, as you stated, three of the four are currently serving.
Yep,
And then one is a new applicant. I just didn't know if we had other individuals, you know, and how long, I think I've asked this before, how long we hold applications that come in. Do we hold them for a period of a year? And then, you know, circle back with them and say we would like them to update if they still remain interested in community service for the county. I just asking.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Yeah,
So that's nothing that the court sees.
yeah, that typically it's a year. I do know on the extension office, we had 4 this year. One was a past employee. One was somebody who kind of backed out. And so that's where we came up with the 2 that are in front of you. And then as far as zoning adjustments, those are just the 2 that we received. I don't believe we have any more on file for that. Clerk, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep, so yes.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, other business. We have any other business tonight before we go into voting session? All righty, seeing none, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. This is our January 20th, 2026 voting session. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dykus.
Here.
Squire Harrod.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wisman.
Present.
Judge Miller.
Present. Thank you, Clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of January 7th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those,
Aye.
everybody answer? I gotta hear everybody. Do it again. Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Everybody, thank you. Everybody opposed? Nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's quarterly report ending December 31, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive the county clerk's 2025 excess fees.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution of the County of Franklin, Kentucky, authorizing and approving the issuance of Franklin County, Kentucky taxable industrial bond revenue bonds in one or more series in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $33 million, the proceeds of which shall be used to finance the acquisition, construction, expansion, improvement, and/or equipping of an of a hotel. As defined in KRS 130.200, parentheses 1, and lease to Franklin Devco LLC and affiliates, successors, and assignments, authorizing and approving a lease agreement, a payment in lieu of tax agreement, and such other documents, certificates, agreements, and/or actions necessary or required for the issuance of the bonds and the financing of the project.
So moved as amended.
Question, if I may. I wanted to ask the county attorney, with that change of that one word as the way our agenda was advertised and submitted to the public, are we okay to change that to a hotel rather than industrial?
Yes.
Thank you.
Second.
We've done that multiple times.
Yep, okay, all
We
right.
change wordings on agendas.
Thank you, Squire. Okay, so I have a first from Squire Tanner, a second from Squire Harrod. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with McCarthy Solutions, Strategic Solutions LLC for lobbying services.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the following application to the Kentucky Board of Emergency Medical Services Ambulance Block Grant Program.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This is the first reading and approval of ordinance amending the Franklin County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 155, Sections 155.071, Zoning Map Atlas Amendments, and Section 155.072, Zoning Map Amendments Commission Recommendations. No vote will be taken at this time. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the following of application for grant funds with the Kentucky Fire Commission for the Franklin County Fire Department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve amendment number 1 to work order number 1 with HMB for an archaeological survey for the Forks of the Elkhorn Sewer Project.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. This is the first reading of amendment number 3 to ordinance number 4-2025 relating to the amended budget for the fiscal year 2025-2026.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, oh, no, this is first reading, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was my
That's
fault.
correct.
I knew that going into it.
My bad. I was
Yeah,
just
it's been a
testing
long
y'all
day. No, it was my bad. I set you up.
So I'll defer my motion until next time.
Authorization to receive Treasurer's Quarterly Report ending December 31, 2025.
out. So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive Treasurer's Report.
So
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve budget transfers for fiscal year 2025 through 2026.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any payment of claim? No motion was made. Let the records reflect claims are to be paid. Authorization to approve the reappointment of Rebecca Quarles to the Franklin County Extension Office with a term ending December 31, 2025, 2028, I'm sorry.
Second.
We got a first from Squire Harris, second from Squire Tanner. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the appointment of Arba Kenner to the Franklin County Extension Office with a term ending December 31, 2028.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve reappointment of Johnny Keene to the Franklin County Board of Zoning Adjustments with a term ending June 30th, 2028.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All those, thank you, Squire. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve the reappointment of Mitch Buchanan to the Franklin County Board of Zoning Adjustments with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. We're adjourned, Court. Thank you very much. Squire Sebastian, thank you.